Hi everyone. So people are just coming online. Let's just get a moment to gather. And if you're watching this later on, welcome. Thank you for being here. I just want to say a couple of practical things before we really dive in. When I got the knowing to create this space a few weeks ago, the world was in a different place. None of us could have imagined the scale or the pace of the change. If you don't already have a regular practice of some kind, a meditation, breath practice, moving meditation, self-care, reflection, contemplation, if ever there was a time to make that a core of your life, it's now. Whatever that looks like for you, dancing, being in nature, but it's a conscious oasis of connection and rebalancing. Welcome. Hi, Marcy, Stephanie. So Equinox, as we know, is about balance, when the light and the dark are in balance. And I don't want to say too much. I really want to dive into meditation, but just a little bit as we go in. This is what we're seeing. This is our invitation. So there's a ground level where everybody on the planet can see the upheaval, the disintegration, suffering, and very practical levels where it's vital that we act wisely, compassionately, intelligently, and from a place of interconnection. Each of our actions affects the whole, and this is just showing us this. And on a higher, wider perspective, oh my goodness, there's disintegration of the illusion of the matrix of what we see as normal, of the structures that so many have built identity on, all of us to some degree. And we are literally awakening as a species, many of us, not everyone, but many of us, to what is true, what is real, where is freedom, what is this life for? And it's a very, very much needed rebalancing. So we're asked in these times to be the middle way in some ways. There's extremes of panic and chaos and fear, and there's extremes of selfishness and denial, which is pretty rare now, because one of the gifts of this wave is that everyone is involved, everyone is touched in some way. I don't know if you can feel, there's actually a cohesiveness in a whole new level of consciousness in humanity. I know I'm touching my face. There's a cohesiveness as there's disintegration. So I also want to acknowledge that many of us who are attuned to the collective, who are energetically sensitive, are feeling a lot in our bodies, in our lungs, in our hearts. Many of us are feeling this whether or not we have a conscious understanding of what it is that we're moving through our systems. So there's real art and real practice in, I've said this already, in coming home to our own essence as a unique fractal of the infinite, not disconnected, but whole and coherent. And our layers of self-care and practice go all the way, ground up, from basic hygiene to the highest levels of embodying our consciousness as source. And isn't that a miracle? Isn't that incredible? So let's dive into this time of quietness, spaciousness, of love, of meeting, of holding. Wherever you are on the planet, whether you're here live or listening to this at any point, get really as comfortable as you can be in your body and in your space, whether you're amongst other people, whether in your sanctuary space. And consciously come to the breath. Come to the heart. The one heart, as it is met and known and emanated through this heart, this body, each of us a vehicle. So we are called to meet everything as breath comes, to meet sensation, to plant an inner yes that comes from our soul. An inner yes that rises up and kisses each place that is fearful, that is aching. So let us meet here in a space of freedom, of inner freedom, that we are claiming. It is always here. It is our true nature. And as we are pulled from the external, forcibly, if you like, in many cases, where do we look? And what is within and without is the same. Everything in creation emanates from the invisible and the formless. the he and the she, Shiva and Shakti. Let us turn within. And your knowing may simply be the breath. This may be what we have in this moment, is this inhale and the pause and the exhale. And then the infinite moment before the next breath. See if you can allow softening inside. Just subtly, layer by layer. A softening as breath and awareness meets tissue. Particularly around the diaphragm as the lungs meet the stomach and the belly. As we go a little bit deeper as we expand. And go ever so gently. Can you find compassion for your own self, for every place in this self that is mirrored in every being? We find compassion for everything this shows. And I call us to space. To the pulsing of God, the divine vibration. Can't be found with the mind. Let that go. Continue to meet in the subtlest sense of contraction. Where are we meeting this from? Come here. And we can meet the openness, bliss, all of it simultaneously. the nothingness. And the everything. And allow, widening, not seeking, just allowing. And as we are this, as we anchor this, we bring it through the body, into the legs, into the feet, through the soles of the feet, and into the mother, into our earth mother. And you may feel or sense or imagine divine light just shooting through the network of light grids in her body, rebalancing. A divine song. I just want to bring through some sound to support that. Expand, expand and ground. This is our time to be here as divine humans. There's so many of our angelic wings celebrating and playing with our vast hearts, holding everything in compassion. Taishikiwa na ainete mitera atukete. Te ama ahane te che kara e ta oi che me te na aka a te maa e te ne te na i che aka a te hui ma ea ni te a te. We're just going to move through the grid some more. If this doesn't resonate or you can't access, let it go. Just be in your own unique experience and unfolding in this now. Taishina ite tara eche chifu na imenata eche ta itata icha ianata. And I keep being reminded, it keeps being emphasized that as our global perspective is undeniable now. Our interconnectedness is undeniable. There is no bad guy and good guy. I mean, I know there's lots of perspectives and there's, many levels of what's playing out, but the world, humanity is not turning upon each other largely. So this perspective has just shifted. So this is here and online for us to be what we are, to fulfill our authentic expression, whatever that looks like. We have to embody and anchor and integrate self-love, self-care in a deep, entirely deep ways. Just want to let that sink in. It's a whole rewrite. It's a whole reset. So many of us we had to practice for, we don't ever get the details, but we saw and felt something really big coming. Your heart, your sacred heart, is your navigation. And this is the sacred heart that is connected to our belly, back to our womb space, and in a spiral. Talking about this here. The love that we are. That we see bursting like an unstoppable spring in the voices singing from balconies and in the acts of kindness, flowing through our humanness. In our total not knowing. At one level. Let us sink into this. Let us sink deeper. And imagine, invite, feel your heart essence like just permeating, sinking down, sinking in like perfume into the tissues, into your bones, into your sit bones. Keep finding your seat and your feet. Literally, touch them, get them on the earth if you're able to be outside. Just get them close to the earth. And from here, we are the vehicle for our divinity in balance. And for those of us that are awakening, we're all awakening in some way, but those of us that have the capacity, don't underestimate the power of what is being emanated, what is being spread, what is being given to all of humanity. If you're sitting in your home and you're not going out and you're doing your practice and you're grounding and you're coming home to the authenticity and the indescribable magnificence of what you are, this is massively powerful. And if you are interacting in whatever way, in a one-on-one with your families or in your workplace or in your neighborhood, the acts of care and kindness are so huge. Such medicine. Our hearts are our medicine. We each have the power to turn our gaze, to turn the dial, to reattune to our own true nature as divine love, as source. I didn't intend to bring more words to, there's a lot of noise on the planet. I pray that this space brings some truth, some love, some rebalancing to your heart and your life. And I'm holding a space of meditation and healing every day at the moment, 10 a.m. Pacific, through Facebook Live, Helen Quayle. You're so welcome to be there in the moment, beyond time. I meet you in what is true. I meet you in the love that we are. Thank you, thank you, thank you.